This is the Recruit the Employer podcast, and you're listening to episode 108, Finishing Well, our last chance to work together. Welcome to the Recruit the Employer podcast, a show for the ambitious, action-oriented career woman who wants to live out her purpose, rise to the top of her industry, and be seen as a leader at work. In 30 minutes or less, we'll walk you through the latest strategies to land your dream job, blast through imposter syndrome, and make the money you deserve. I'm your host, Jenna Viviano, ex-Wall Streeter turned career coach and founder of Recruit the Employer. But more importantly, I'm on a mission to help you fall in love with your work again. So grab a glass of wine, get ready to be coached, and tune in to your weekly boost of career confidence. Hello, friends, and welcome back to another episode of the Recruit the Employer podcast. We are almost here at the end. I hope you guys really enjoyed my conversation that I got to have with my friend Elizabeth, my office mate, last week for last week's episode, where we really dove a little deeper into my decision for retiring, quote unquote, from career coaching and what you can come to learn to expect in the future from only the company and myself as well. And so hopefully it was informative for you. I got a lot of really great feedback on Instagram. So thank you for those of you that have sent messages, past clients, current clients. It was really fun to get to hear people's perspectives. And honestly, the most wonderful part, so if you're a career coach that's listening to this, I've gotten so many awesome pieces of feedback from other fellow career coaches who maybe felt similarly about the business or felt freedom almost to think differently about the way that they look at their business. And that was really such a reward for me. I would consider that my work win, if you will, if we're going by the Career Map Journal, kind of thinking about my work wins for the week. That 100% was probably mine, like thinking through some of the great things that people were saying about the podcast episode. So if you haven't listened to that yet and you're like, what the heck, Jenna, I have not been around in a while, I want you to listen to episode 107, where I talk a little bit about why I'm retiring from career coaching, kind of the reasoning behind that, and briefly what I'm going to be doing next. Now, next week's episode, I'm going to deep dive a little bit more on what I will be doing next. I will not share the name of the company until that we're officially there and kind of respecting some of the ways that they announce some things. And so you guys will hear a little bit more about that and what I am anticipating on doing in the future at that role. Again, don't know a ton about that. If you listen to last week's episode, you'll know that I kind of entered into this role that's fairly new for the organization and just for the industry in general. And I'm getting the opportunity to pave the way for this chief learning officer type role. So listen to last week's episode 107 to hear a little bit more about that. But I did want to share one more last opportunity that we get to work together. So I've gotten some questions on Instagram and particularly on LinkedIn, like, hey, I've been following your stuff for a really long time. I love your LinkedIn posts. I love listening to the podcast. I know that I need help. And I need something a little bit more than what's offered in the free resources that you provide. And I've been following you and I saw that you offer this Recruit the Employer program and I never really was ready to invest in myself. But I feel like if I don't do it now, one, the Recruit the Employer program may go away, which it will. I'll tell you a little bit more about that. And two, I'm just ready to invest in my career, invest in my future. A lot of people that went through 2020, which is all of us, right? If you're listening to this, and came out the other side really reflecting differently about their career. That was the thing probably I heard the most was, do I really want to do what I've been doing? And if you've been asking yourself that question for a while, right? If you've been asking yourself that question like, this, I don't think is the thing for me, what I'm doing right now in my role or my company or my industry, and you're wanting to make a career pivot, but don't know where to pivot to or how to pivot, I want you to listen up and to really seriously consider investing in your career. Now, I know most people that are listening to this podcast are not used to investing in any type of coaching or courses most often, unless it's a secondary education like your undergraduate degree or a graduate degree or maybe some certification. But I can guarantee to you that this course, the Recruit the Employer course, is going to be the most impactful course you will ever take in your career. It's going to be more impactful than any certifications you take because it's actually going to teach you what do you want and then how do you go after it with incredible amount of vigor and like confidence in yourself. A lot of people will come to me and say, Jenna, I keep on sending my resume out and I'm not hearing back from anybody. I really don't know why it's not working. In this course, I have broken it down so simply into a step-by-step format to help you understand what you should do in your next step, to give you a different vision of what your career could look like, and then simultaneously give you the confidence and tools to actually navigate your way through the craziness that is the job search market right now. So if you think that, if you've been thinking, gosh, I've been applying online, it's not working, I know something's got to change. It's not just my resume. I really, really want you to consider investing in the Recruit the Employer program. So this, again, is our last chance to work together. We will be shutting down the opportunity to invest in the Recruit the Employer program. So you will not be able to purchase it after July 31st. So I'm going to spend some little bit of time today sharing a little bit about who it's for, who it's not for, because I don't think it's really helpful to sell people on a course where it's not going to be really valuable to them, right? It's not good for you. It's not good for me. It's not good for anybody, right? So I'm going to share a little bit about who the course is for. Then I'm going to share about what you get in it. Then I'm going to share the obvious question. Okay, Jenna, now how much is this going to cost me, right? So we're going to talk a little bit about how to think through that, how to have that conversation with your significant other. And then I'm also going to share at the very end a special bonus that if you are a fast action taker, and if you purchase by the end of the week of this air of this episode, and I'll give you more details on that, you actually get a one-on-one 1-hour session with me, which is a $500 value. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. But let's jump in. Who is the Recruit the Employer course for? Okay. So if some of you maybe have been listening for a while and you're like, okay, I know it's for me, Jenna, I want to purchase now. Where do I go? So you're going to go to actually jennaviviano.com/yes. So we have kind of our old page up for you guys to check out, giving its last hoorah before we kind of migrate out into this next season. But again, if you go to jennaviviano.com/yes, you can actually just go right now and say, I'm in, I've been following you for a while. It's time. I know this is the last chance that I have to get into this course, which it is. You can do that right now. But this course is really designed for those mid to senior level career professionals. So females predominantly. I definitely think a male could get a lot out of this course, but it is really catered for my female audience. And there's a couple of reasons why I chose to do that. One, I have found that women really struggle with the confidence factor. So there is a whole module designed to speak to that issue. Women and confidence in their careers. And I have had so many women that have told me, I got laid off from my job and I took a leap of faith and invested in this program. And I'm so glad I did. It was the best investment I've ever made in my career. I've had women that are, 100K earners, 200K earners, 50K earners be a part of this course and all get something out of it, and feel like at the end, they actually knew what direction they were going in. They didn't feel lost. They didn't feel stressed out. They felt like they really understood the pathway that no one really taught them in college, right? We spend all this money in college and nobody really tells us how to actually find a job with that degree that was really expensive, right? So Recruit the Employer, the course, is a supplemental course that you should have taken in college, but were never given the opportunity because, quite frankly, most career services centers are not that great. So if you are a mid to senior level female career professional who is struggling with her job search, who feels overwhelmed, who feels like she's lacking confidence, who feels like she's just confused about what to do, there's so much conflicting advice online, you are a wonderful, wonderful candidate for the Recruit the Employer course, okay? So if you feel like you're wasting your time on all the wrong things in your search, if you feel like you're in analysis paralysis, I have so many women that come to me, whether in my DMs or, coaching clients that are like, I am so in my head. I do not know how to organize all this in my brain. How do I discern? How do I prioritize, right? How do I figure out what company is actually the right company for me? And then once they do that, they ask the question, well, now nobody is actually bringing me in for an interview. How do I beat the bots? So in the Recruit the Employer course, you're going to see that there are modules designed to help you get through those challenges. So if those are the challenges that you're frustrated with, if you feel like you don't know how to sell yourself properly, and if you feel like you have lost your confidence, whether you've been in a toxic work environment or you've never really felt confident in yourself in your career, this course is going to be so life-changing for you. And here's why I believe that it's life-changing, not just because I created it, but because we really tap into the whole thing. So many people want to just what I call the bandage solution, and they just want to get their resume done or the LinkedIn profile done. And that's fine and dandy. but that's not going to actually solve the true issues that you're having in your job search and in your career. It is much deeper. I joke with a lot of my clients in saying that, work and our careers and the job search is not as transactional as we pretend that it is. It's highly, highly emotional. So when we treat it as if it's transactional and it actually is emotional, there's obviously going to be a disconnect there. So we talk about not only the practical steps, but the emotional components that go into how we show up in our interviews, how we show up in what we share in our resumes and our LinkedIn profiles. And then the whole entire system together works to give you a holistic viewpoint of your career right now and a dream for it in the future. So we're very, very intentional about how we structured it, the curriculum that we set up, all the supplemental tools. We didn't want to overwhelm you, but at the same time, we wanted to give you all the information that you needed in order to land your dream job. So let me share with you a little bit about what you're going to find inside the program. So we take you through 5 steps. Okay. And again, this is very structured and it's designed for people who love structure. If you don't love structure, this is probably not the best thing for you. But step 1 is really about adopting a CEO mindset. My entrepreneurial friends often talk about mindset. It's like one of the number one things that is talked about, whether it's in a mastermind or on a podcast or in their programs. And it's kind of funny that not a lot of career coaches talk about this, which is highly alarming to me for so many reasons, that we really teach you how to know what you are worth and to act like it. So we help you blast through limiting beliefs, help you get out of that fixed mindset and break through money mindsets. A lot of people that I talk with, specifically women, and this is one of the reasons why I wanted to work with women in particular, or design this course for women, is that once we got down to negotiations, people still had issues with negotiating because of some money mindset issues that they had. So we talk about those mindset things from the very beginning. And what people have told me was when they go through the CEO mindset module, they become way more confident in themselves and they see where they've been acting wrong in their career and why that's been holding them back from getting a new job or actually standing up for themselves in their current job. So it's going to be really impactful if you're a woman who struggles with confidence at work and you're really looking to do it to find a shift in your mindset in a way that is helpful for that future opportunity. So it's all designed into the lens of how do I actually help use these tools to help me get my next opportunity. So that's module 1. Module 2 is all about getting you clarity on the job. For those people that are a little confused about what they want to do, they have maybe some ideas, but you're kind of in that analysis paralysis. What this module really does is help you get crystal clear on what you want and then what value you have to offer. A lot of career coaches and programs out there only do the career clarity portion where they say, this is what you want. Great, wonderful. And then it's kind of like, okay, what now, right? We also have to marry that with helping you understand what is the value that you're bringing to the table. Because we can have all these things that you want, and if it doesn't really align with what you can offer, then it's not going to really work, right? So we help you uncover what both of those things are. What do you want? And some people haven't asked that question to themselves probably ever in their career since they were young. And at the same time, what value do I bring? And that one's really hard for most people. I have a lot of women who come to me and say that section is probably the most impactful apart from the mindset, because it helped me understand, this is actually how I bring value to a company. Like, this is why a company would want to hire me. I can actually now bring that into my interview. Even though this is only module 1, we're talking about clarity or module 2, we're talking about clarity on the job. I can actually know, this makes sense. I'm going to use this when I go into my interview and say, this is why you should hire me, or let me tell you a little bit about myself, right? Helps you evaluate specifically what you are good at, what you're praised for, and how that fits into a future company. And this is especially helpful for if you're a career changer. So I get this question all the time. Well, Jenna, what if I'm totally switching careers? Is Recruit the Employer, the course, good for me? Yes, it absolutely is going to help you think strategically and practically through your change and help you link together what those transferable skills are. So that is step number 2. Module number 2 is all about getting clarity on the job. Step number 3 is about finding the job. So for those of you that feel really overwhelmed by LinkedIn and the job boards, this is going to help cut through that noise. And we actually use our proprietary job search funnel to help you understand a little bit more about how to get a little clearer in all of the mess when it relates to finding the actual job that you want, and not just any job, but the right job for your next move. It's really action-oriented, really, really practical, and teaches you very specifically how to network with the right people. So many of you are wasting your time applying online and not talking to real humans. And we're going to flip that script. Even if you're scared of networking, even if you're an introvert, this is still going to be really, really helpful for you because I break it down into steps. I give you templates and I help you uncover what it really looks like to be a proper networker in a non-sleazy way that's going to help you land the next opportunity. I have a client right now that was in the program and she hated networking to begin with, was not super confident. She would probably say that about herself. And she was more timid and she just became a networking queen. It was so fun to watch. She's talking to chief marketing officers. She's going into big tech companies. I mean, she's getting people to respond back to her. And it's because of the tools that she learned in this program. She became a different person, not only from her mindset and confidence, but the things that she was willing to do and the results that she was able to get as well. So that's step number 3 is all about finding the job. Step number 4 is about marketing to the job. So this is where people go wrong, right? They try to do this part first. They go, oh, I need to fix my resume. Oh, I need to fix my LinkedIn profile. And yes, of course you need to do that to some degree, but that should not be the main focus. Notice we already had steps 1, steps 2, step 3 before we even get to the marketing portion. So this is the place where we teach you how to craft a killer elevator pitch, how to actually brand yourself across digital platforms, teach you a stupid simple way to brand your resume, and how to optimize your LinkedIn profile so that it actually works for you while you sleep. That is step 4. And then finally, step 5 is all about landing the job. So this is where I say you make back your money because we teach you not only interviewing skills, but how to negotiate your salary once the time comes for you to get an offer or multiple offers, hopefully, right? And so a lot of women don't know how to truly negotiate and they don't know how much they should be, charging, quote unquote, for their skills or like what salary they should even be looking at. And so this program walks you through scripts and gives you an idea of how to actually negotiate your salary in a way that's super helpful. So that is what the content is in this program. It is so, you can absolutely do it yourself. You can go through this program. You can go through the steps. Step 1 is all about the mindset. Step 2 is getting clarity on the job. Step 3 is about, sorry, I'm losing my place. Step 3 is about finding the job. Step 4 is about marketing to the job. And then step 5 is all about landing the job. So if you feel like, gosh, I have been looking for a solution where I don't just get my resume done, but I really understand holistically how this whole thing works together. And I can honestly tell y'all, it is not a good use of your money to just change your resume. I'm sorry. I love my resume writers out there, but just changing your resume is probably not going to do a whole lot unless you're a senior, chief executive. And even then, most of the time it's not working. So I really want you to be equipped. And the people that go through this program, they don't need my help later on. And that's the goal. I don't want you to need more help after you've gone through the program. I want you to be completely self-sufficient to then take the tools that you learned within this program and actually, use it throughout your entire career because these principles are tried and true no matter what profession you're in. In this program, and I get this question a lot, is this good if I'm in marketing? Is this good if I'm in, this industry or that industry? I have had clients from all different industries, nonprofit, for-profit. I've had people in ministry. I've had people that are in government agencies. The only professions where this is not incredibly relevant is if you're like a nurse or a doctor, or if you are a lawyer. Usually the ways that they go about the application process and what they look for and how they look for things is a little bit different than most other professions. But pretty much any other profession, Recruit the Employer is going to be useful for you, not just if you're in a marketing role, a finance role, or an accounting role or something like that. It's going to be helpful for you if you're in any field. And if you have a question about that, and if you're wondering, hey, is this going to be good for me? Please reach out to me on either Instagram or LinkedIn. I'm going to be in my DMs a lot this week as we're kind of launching for the very last time Recruit the Employer, the course. And I'm so excited to see what people finally join and saying, you know what, I'm going to put my stake in the ground. I'm actually going to invest in myself. 2021 was supposed to be my year. We're halfway through it. I haven't made much progress on my career. It is time for things to change. I'm going to actually put some of my money where my mouth is and invest in a program that's going to help give me a holistic viewpoint of what my career could look like and then how to actually get there. It is truly action-oriented and a step-by-step process. It's all about becoming a differentiated hire. That's kind of my methodology. If you've listened to any of my podcasts before, you know that I'm all about helping people understand their unique value because you all have it, and how to differentiate yourself in the candidate marketplace because it is incredibly, even more so than it was a year ago, incredibly competitive. So you cannot, if you've been thinking about this for a long time about changing jobs and you haven't really done anything, you probably aren't going to do anything until you invest some money in yourself. And I find this to be true in my own career, in my own life. And I have found that momentum happens when I actually decide to make a change. And part of that is getting the schooling to get the coaching that I personally have needed in my career to help me get to the next level in my business, in my career, and whatever that may look like. So I really, really want to encourage you to stop trying to do it all on your own. Stop trying to getting mad at yourself because you can't figure it out, right? Newsflash, you were never taught this. It's quite all right if you don't know it. But it's your responsibility once you know there's a solution to actually take action. So Recruit the Employer is really, really, its goal is to help you understand your worth, to help you get clarity, find your purpose, land your dream job, and negotiate thousands more. That is our goal for you in this program. So if you're interested in this, if you want to learn a little bit more about it, again, jennaviviano.com/yes, you can purchase it right there. We are going to have that link open until July 31st, 2021. If you're listening to this podcast episode after that time, it is closed. It's not available anymore after that. This is the last time ever, per last week's episode, right, that we are going to be offering this course, and we will be retiring it. So you'll have access to this course for a year after your purchase. And we're actually offering it right now for 50% off its original price, which was $14.97. We're offering it for $7.49. So if you are interested in this program, or if you have some questions about it, it is an investment, 100%. I know it's the best in the biz. I absolutely know it's the best in the biz. And I've, had a lot of clients who have done other career coaching programs or worked with other career coaches before. And our program is so successful because it is so holistic. And I'm really proud of what we've been able to create for people and the changes that people have made in their career, not just for like the immediate future, but thinking about themselves differently in their career and for the long term. So again, go to jennaviviano.com/yes if you want to invest. And if you are listening to this podcast episode, if you purchase between now and the end of the week, so that would be this Friday, July 23rd, so at midnight on July 23rd, 2021, if you do that, you actually get a free one-on-one 60-minute session with yours truly. And I'm super excited to meet some of you that decide to invest in the program. And we're going to do that 1-hour session. That's a $500 value. I'm just really excited to hear more about your story and see where I can specifically customize and give you a customized solution to how to use the course to your advantage, but also to give you some real-time feedback on what's going on with your career right now so that you can take some action steps immediately. So again, that is only available until this Friday, the 23rd at midnight. So we'll be sending out some emails if you're on our email list, just to remind you. But the course itself will be available at that price at $749 until July 31st, 2021. And then we will be saying goodbye. So again, this is the last time to get it. And it's for those of you that really want to make that career change and are looking to take the next step in your career and are ready for that. It's not for everybody, but for the right people, it's highly, highly impactful. If you're an ambitious career woman, this course is going to be perfect for you. Perfect. So I really enjoyed getting to speak with you guys today. This was a really fun episode to get to share about the last time that we get to work together. We're going to have about 2 more episodes in the Recruit the Employer podcast series. So stay tuned for that over the next 2 weeks. And if you have any questions, you know where to reach me, either LinkedIn or Instagram. And again, if you want to check out the Recruit the Employer, the course, you can do that at jennaviviano.com/yes. Thanks for listening to the Recruit the Employer podcast. If you've been loving this podcast and it's been helping you approach your career in a brand new way, I have 2 shameless asks. Number 1, make sure you hit subscribe right this very second. That way you won't miss a single episode. And number 2, would you give us a review? Reviews help other ambitious career women like you know that this podcast is the place to be and helps the podcast climb to the top of the charts. Think of it as some good career karma. And as always, if you want to learn more about the topics we discussed today or are ready to take massive action and invest in yourself and your career, we would be honored to help you. Head on over to recruittheemployer.com/call to book your free strategy session. Regardless, we will see you next week.